Hello, good people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. Welcome back to this platform. Or this channel. My name is Audrey Asheli Odor. I'm a high school teacher of English language and literature. I am currently teaching the middle years program and the diploma program in the International Baccalaureate. Well, today I'm here to actually share with you where I moved to. Well, before we get into that, other than being a high school teacher, I am also a mentor. I mentor teachers, or rather Kenyan teachers, who wish to transition from the Kenya national curriculum into teaching the international curriculum, specifically Cambridge and IB, into international settings. So far, we've had the opportunity to mentor approximately 21 to 22 teachers who've been successful with us. So if you are an educator and new on this platform, you could also contact us via our email or via WhatsApp number just to guide you and take you through. Well, I do not want to take much of your time, so welcome back. To those ones who are new subscribers or who are getting a view or a blink or a glimpse of this platform, welcome to this platform. To those ones who are returning subscribers, thank you so much. I think I deserve all the beating on planet Earth. I promise that I'll be able to share videos with you, but life happened. I enrolled for my master's, and yeah, there's so many things that came in between, and I just found myself extremely occupied. Now, I don't want to eat much and take much of your time, so drum rolls. We moved to Russia. I know most of my friends or my family, definitely, they have an idea where I'm currently working, but most of the people on this platform probably have no idea. So yes, we moved to the largest country in the world, which actually occupies 1/10 of all the land on Earth. You can imagine. Yeah. And by the way, for your information, Russia has 11 different time zones. So remember, every time I tell somebody I'm in Russia, they're like, how did you end up in Russia? Why would you even end up in Russia? And I'm always like, why? Give me the reason why I shouldn't, then I wouldn't. Anyway, so yes, I am in this beautiful country and I love Moscow. I'm specifically in Moscow. I love Moscow per se. Other than the weather, I love the infrastructure, good roads, roads that are working. Yeah, my country needs to copy from this. I'm not saying our roads are not working, but I mean in the context of good infrastructure, yes, we can copy something. Tech is top notch. I love their health sector. The health sector, I think it's rated one of the best in the world. Really, 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 really good. I love the food. I'm trying out different dishes every now and then, but I'll talk about that later on. But anyway, yes, we moved to Russia in 2022, August. Yeah, August of 2022. And 2 years, I think 2 years, 6 months down the line. Yeah, we're doing so good, I would say. Anyway, well, I need to probably take you through how I got the opportunity, the process in terms of what kind of documents were required, the interview process, kind of contract that you get, when I was able to travel, what follows after, just give you a brief overview of how that process was. And yeah, I know in future probably my students will come across this and yes, this is Miss Audrey. Oh, sorry about that. Anyway, so just for context, prior to moving to Russia, I was working at the presidential schools of Uzbekistan. I was working for the president, you can imagine. Hey, life. Anyway, yeah, and I only had the opportunity to work in that country for a year. Um, Again, to answer your question, what attracted me to this school per se? One, it is an IB school and a proper international school. Personally, I have taught both Cambridge and IB, and I align more with the IB. I'm not saying that Cambridge, but it's just that I align more with the IB. And I was really, really, really looking for a school that actually offers that. Number two, I also wanted my daughter to join me. So it's also one of the reasons that actually made me opt to move to this particular school. Now, before moving to Uzbekistan, I was working at Arabian Palgaf School in Bahrain. And in the process, like in the first 2 years, I worked with a gentleman, an amazing gentleman, a math teacher. He's called Mr. Edwin Mayoyo. And today I'm here to give you your flowers, Mr. Edwin, because Edwin is the one who shared the vacancy of my current school with me. He actually sent that advert through the Diaspora Educators of Kenya Association platform on WhatsApp. Guys, my apologies. Let me just put my phone on silent. Sorry about that. So, yes, Edwin shared a vacancy via our Diaspora Educators of Kenya Association WhatsApp forum. And having known him, he was working at our sister school in St. Petersburg. So I contacted him and I was like, hey, I've actually seen that you've shared an advert for English and I think physics and science and something for this particular school in Moscow. And he's like, yeah. I asked about insights about the school. Of course, he gave me all the green cards about the school. And I was like, you know what? I'm sold. So I contacted the HR, sent my CV, and got going. I think a day or 2 days later, she responded with, of course, a positive response. We need to schedule the first phase of the interview. And the first phase of the interview is always with the human resource manager. Of course, they need to get to know you. They need to get to understand who you are, what you do, the level, levels in terms of whether you're teaching only year 7s, 8, 9, or you're teaching 10, 11, 12, 13. For example, for my case, I had taught lower secondary, IGCSE, and ASA level. I'd also taught IGCSE and deep in my former school. That is Arabian Palgaf School. So that was the first thing, get to know. And then I also got to have an overview of what the school offers in terms of the curriculum, in terms of professional development, in terms of other benefits like tuition for kids, benefits like housing, health insurance, travel, and whatever, all this that is just shared with you so that you have an overview of what you're getting into. Well, of course, one of the things that wanted me to move, that actually made me think about this place, like I've mentioned, was my daughter was getting to high school and I wanted her to join, or to rather be where I was at that particular time. So yes, we did the first phase of the interview. And of course, it went well because I wouldn't be here if it didn't go well. So next was the second phase of the interview. Now, the second phase of the interview, I had an interview with my head of department and the principal then. And guys, I wouldn't lie to you. I think between minute 5 and 10 of an interview, unless it's a class demo, if it's just the panel interview, between minute 5 and 10, you actually always know if you've gotten the job or not. You always have a clue if you've gotten the job or not. But anyway, amazing interviewers. It was more or less like a conversation. I wouldn't lie to you. In fact, I ended up also asking some questions, but I enjoyed it anyway. A very interesting aspect in terms of the kind of questions that they asked. They wanted to know my educational ethos. They wanted to know how I deal with different races of students, different cultures, people from different nationalities. How do I handle that kind of a classroom? They wanted to know how I develop critical thinking skills in students. They also wanted to understand the type of an educator that I am. Anyway, it went on well. Of course, if it didn't, I wouldn't be here. So yes, I think 3 days within that same week, I actually received my first job offer. And guys, I wouldn't lie to you, I was excited. I was over the moon. I was screaming. I was praying. I was clapping. I was doing every other thing I could because I felt like God had answered my prayers. I wouldn't lie to you. Honestly speaking, one of the things I always tell people, if you're a family person, the most enjoyable time is when you spend that time with your family. So if you're a parent or you're married or you have kids, for example, being a parent or a guardian, either of this is still considered parenting. The most joy that you have in you is actually seeing your kids grow with you. So I wouldn't lie to you. I went through the job offer as quickly as I could because I was over the moon. I really wanted to be with my girl. I'd been away from her for some time. Of course, I used to see her over and over, but I just wanted to spend time with her and see her grow into her teenage years. Yeah. Nowadays, she doesn't even want me close to her anywhere. Yeah. Before she would cling and wherever. Nowadays, I'm like, we are not in the same. She's like, no, we are not in the same. Anyway, I've learned to deal with it. So after the job offer, of course, you accept it, and now they send you the official contract. I wouldn't discuss my contract, but I'm just taking you through how the process goes. So I got my contract and applied. So of course, you get your contract and they give you the list of things that they need for them to be able to process your visa. So they send you the contract for the school and the contract for the group of schools, because our school is a group of schools. So we have a branch in Moscow. We used to have a branch in St. Petersburg, but it was closed down. We have another branch in the UK. We have another branch in Canada. We have a branch in India. And they are also looking for, probably they're supposed to have opened, rather they're supposed to open a branch in Middle East. So we have those prospects of opening another branch in Middle East. Well, documentation. First thing that they need, criminal record. Of course, you're not going to you're not going to work in an institution without them doing a background check on you. Basically, in terms of safeguarding and child protection, because you're dealing with minors, or rather you're dealing with students. So we need to know: are you a criminal? Have you committed any crimes against children? Have you been sacked from your job before? So that is the first thing. And they need a criminal record from your country of residence and your country of origin. So of course, living in Fergana, I had to get to Tashkent and apply for my, Tashkent is the capital city of Uzbekistan, and apply for my police check criminal record. Then applied it, sent it. Of course, they ask for your attested documentation, the ones that you have already, your degree, your transcript, any trainings that you've had, then the birth certificate for my daughter. What am I forgetting? I think that is it. Because the health records you have to do, I had to do it in Kenya before applying for my visa. Yeah, so you'll of course have to fill in the health record, a scan for, you have to do a test for HIV. There's a list of things that you need to do. I remember HIV and TB, very mandatory. And then you have to take your documents to be attested at, okay, sorry. Attestation happens like this. One, you have your degree and transcripts. They are attested, or rather officiated by your institution. First of all, you take your copies to your institution. The institution affirms that that is a copy of the original version of your transcripts. So they attest to that. Then you take that to the Ministry of Education. They give you a stamp. From Ministry of Education, you take it to Foreign Affairs. They give you a stamp. From Foreign Affairs, you now take it to the embassy, the Moscow embassy in Kenya. Sorry, the Russian embassy in Kenya. Then they give you a stamp as well. So that will allow you to apply for they will now confirm, it will be used to confirm your visa. That aside, so I had to send those documents, but I couldn't be able to send my degree for attestation, I think because I was in Uzbekistan. So I had to move back to Kenya, I think during the summer break, and be able to get those documents attested. Then after that, they send you now the visa application form, and you have to do the application in Kenya. So I went through that. I applied for my visa and my daughter's visa. And there's something that happened. Well, when I sent the birth certificate of my daughter and her older passport, I applied for, like Kenya, we were getting a newer generation of passports. So I applied using her old passport. And when they sent the invitation letter and every documentation in it, it had the previous passport. It didn't have her current passport. When I went to apply for the visa, I went with this new passport and I forgot. This was the most, I would tell you, the Russian embassy in Kenya, Like I've never seen people, honestly speaking, I'm not bragging, by the way. I've applied for visas to so many places, but I love the hospitality in that embassy. I didn't stay long. Actually, I took our applications, I think like on a Thursday, because they operate on Thursday or Friday. They used to operate, they are open for people on Thursday and Tuesday. So I knew I was supposed to get my visa on Tuesday, the following week. On Friday morning, they called me asking for my daughter's older passport. Because when I made application, I made with the new one. So they wanted me to submit that. I told them, yes, I can. They asked me to bring it on Monday, even though on Monday they're not open for the public. You understand? So I was over the moon. I went there on Monday with the older passport. So what they did is they had to transfer that passport from the older one to the newer passport with the newer passport number. And guess what, guys? I was supposed to receive my visas on Tuesday, but I ended up leaving that embassy with my visa. Rambles, guys, like everything was just working for me. Come on. What not? Of course, when you're applying for the visa, you have to, of course, submit your medical certificate and your documentation. So every of these, your degree, your passport, birth certificate for your daughter, her passport, um, your medical certificates for the two of you, and that is it. And guys, that is how we saw ourselves settling in Moscow. Now, of course, we get one of the things that actually makes me also like this place is at least you get that relocation allowance. When you're flying to the country for the first time, yes, they have a package that allows you to, they relocate you. So you are either booking tickets by yourself and then they refund you, or they book you a ticket. In my case, I opted to book tickets by myself because I wanted to book flights from my nearest city. Because if they would have booked it, definitely they would have booked it for our capital city in Nairobi. But I opted to get it from Kisumu because now I can be able to fly from Kisumu to Nairobi and then from Nairobi to Dubai and then Dubai to Moscow. And yes, we came during summer. It was hot, but not as hot as Middle East. Yes, hot, good hot, that warm, not too hot, not too cold. Settled in Moscow and I loved it. Honestly, I think maybe because I come from a tropical country, I love the sun more. But Moscow is beautiful. Anyway, we settled in Moscow, and I think I started work the third week of August, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, the third week of August, and I get to the school, and guys, our school has most beautiful infrastructure. I wouldn't lie to you. Let me emphasize, beautiful infrastructure. Yes, you had me right. Beautiful library, huge, massive classes. Yeah, top-notch classes. Look at seats, look at even the staff room, the dining, music room, performance hall. It's a proper international school, so yes. But the pressure that comes with international schools, guys, anyone who has worked in an international school understands that the expectations are high. In as much as they have good standards and whatever, their expectations, of course, as usual, they are also high. So yes, we had to deal with that. And what I would say I like most about what makes me get to work every single day are my students. Well, I'm one person who has loved teaching. If you would have asked me a couple of years ago when I was a teenager that I would end up, if I would ever want to be a teacher, definitely I would have said no. I mean, I wouldn't. But the mere fact that I get to sit with students and I just get to see them transition into very international minded individuals. I get to see them progress. That is the joy that I have as a teacher. I wouldn't lie to you. There are days that you wake up and you're like, I just want to pack my bags and go home. And then I sit back And I remember that I have amazing students and amazing students. I'm not going to say which class is my favorite because I know at one point my students are going to bump into this video and they will not forgive me if I say year 13s are my favorite and not year 12s, or year 12s are my favorite and not year 11s, or year 11s are my favorite and not year 10s. So, guys, you're all my favorite students. If you get to see this, Miss Audrey loves you so much. Well, that is what makes me get to work every single day. I enjoy our lessons. I'm actually currently also teaching theory of knowledge. Story for another day. Anyway, I enjoy my lessons. I have made good friends. I wouldn't lie. Moscow has, I mean, friends at work. I wouldn't lie to you. Yes. And it would be unfair if I failed to talk about them because I keep on confusing their names. Imagine 2 years, 6 months down the line, I still confuse. I still confuse their name, Miss Svetlana and Miss Vavara. Oh my goodness. I call Svet Vav and I call Vav Svet, sometimes unconsciously, but they are my two most favorite human beings. I wouldn't lie about that. I have Miss Kostyukinya. Oh, Leona, thank you so much. Miss Renata, Tatiana. The rest I'm not going to mention, no. Of course, Lilith, I wouldn't fail to talk about you. I have so many friends in my school, I would say. My colleagues, I work in an institution where we have, I don't know how many, 52 different nationalities. So you pretty much understand that you never feel left out. And then the mere fact that English is the official language that we use in school, I mean, in terms of communication, in terms of teaching, it becomes very easy for you to just fit in. It could be complex at first if you've not been in that kind of a diverse setting. But honestly, I enjoy working in diverse settings because you would never feel left out. You turn like this, you see, oh, there is a Spanish lady, or there is an Italian lady, there's a Russian guy, there is a Kenyan, there's a South African, there is a Nigerian, there is an English one, there is an Irish one, there is a Scottish one. There's, a variety of us. So that is one of the things that actually also makes it a bit easier to settle in. And now, 2 years, 6 months down the line in the same school, I mean, I'm still, we are not yet breaking the record because I was in Middle East for 5 years in the same school. So let's see. Hopefully, I'll also be in the same school for another 5 years. You never know. But we're almost clocking the third one. And the fourth one, definitely. Now, one of the things that I cannot fail to talk about is the words that I've learned in Russians. Of course, the good words. I'm not going to talk about the bad ones. No, 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 no. The good words that I've learned in Russian. Спасибо большое. My favorite one is Das Vidania, because I say this every time I leave work and I remember it everywhere I go. I always even say this word when I'm done at a restaurant, done eating and you're leaving. I say Das Vidania. It's just my favorite word to say. Goodbye, and I hope to get to see you tomorrow. My favorite word. Спасибо большое, that is saying thank you. Da is saying yes. Niet, no. What else? What else? What else? Is Venita? That is please or excuse me. Okay. I have also learned how to order coffee, courtesy of Svetlana and Vavara and Leona. Можно, пожалуйста, vanilla latte, большой, big, спасибо. Можно, пожалуйста, vanilla latte, большой, спасибо. So that means, please, may I have a vanilla latte, a big one? Thank you. Well, I wouldn't lie to you. Yes, we are currently in Moscow and we are doing this live. Now, the weather has been something that has been challenging for me, but I have learned to navigate it. When it's winter, well, we dress up warmly. Warm in the context that you have to have a hat, a scarf, good gloves, some tights, and winter boots. Moscow experience is the four seasons, so it's something that I get to enjoy. I think the only place that I've experienced this was in Uzbekistan. In Middle East, we don't get to experience this kind of winter. It's just cold, but not this kind of winter where it snows. So I didn't get to experience that. The UK, of course, yeah. But I didn't live in the UK for that long. So yes, Moscow has been my to-go country that I've had to experience, that transition in for. What else am I leaving behind? Nothing much. I have been able to make good friends. I have been able to grow professionally as a person. My first year, I think, yeah, my first year, I was the community project coordinator. I think just 2 months of being there, yeah. And then I took up Model United Nations, which has been something that I've loved doing, taking kids to different places to contest, St. Petersburg, CIS, Kolkovo. We've done debates, we've gone to Turkey, and you clearly just see how you're transitioning as a person. I've had candidate classes. You can imagine in 2022, my first time teaching a DP2 class. Whoa, that was challenging. But I took up the challenge, yes. So ever since 2022, I've been teaching candidate classes. When I'm talking about candidate classes, I'm talking classes that actually do board exams. That is year 11, they do MYPE assessment, and then DP2, they do the diploma assessment. I mean, it's handwritten, it's not e-assessment. So since 2022, I've taught candidate classes to date, and it's something that I enjoy doing. Of course, classes can be challenging, but I like the fact that inside the classroom, we have diverse settings. Kids are from everywhere in the world, so it makes it very easy for us. And honestly, the discipline is better. I don't want to compare with other places per se, but yeah, I would say the kids are lovely. Kids, you just get to understand them. You just need to get to create a rapport with them, get to know what they like, be firm and fair. My kids, I call them my kids. They all know that when it comes to serious stuff, we have to do serious stuff. When it comes to joking, we also have to joke. So yeah, you get to meet Audrey in different faces, but Audrey can only be mad if you're doing something wrong and she's trying to ask you to do it in a better way, and maybe you are not paying attention. But anyway, thank you so much. And I hope to get more questions. Next time I'll be coming here, I'll be coming to share an amazing project that I started back at home. I'm currently doing my master's, and I'm so excited because just last month, February, because today is 1st of March when I'm shooting this. Last month, that is February, I was able to receive my results and I passed with flying colors. So I'm up to do my research, and I'm actually doing my research in Moscow. So you can imagine. Yes. When I come back, I hope the next time I'm coming here, I'll be here to talk about the Eagle Oak Border School, another milestone that we started on we started sometimes back in 2024. Anyway, thank you so much, and do have a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening. If you haven't subscribed, please remember to hit that subscribe button and bring those people on board. Thank you. That has been my time. Bye bye.